Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another live stream from China Admissions. So, today we are going to be going over our new ebook that has just come out. And this is quite an important book because we've been working on it for a really long time. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes, get everyone to join, and also just keep in mind this is going to be posted on our YouTube channel and on our Instagram, so you can always watch it again later, or if you need to recommend it to someone, you can do so. So I'm just going to wait a little bit and see exactly if we can get more people to come through. Okay, so welcome everyone. And today we're going to go over the ebook that we have just launched at China Admissions. The ebook is about a guide, it's a guidebook to China and your arrival in China. Also, throughout this live stream, you can leave any questions you have regarding studying in China or arriving in China. So you can leave those questions below, and I'll answer them just now towards the end of the live stream. Okay, so I'm going to leave a link here in our YouTube video where you can go and you can download this ebook. I see we have a couple of students here that I know have already downloaded the ebook and got a preview. And then also, if you are watching on Instagram, you can go to our blog at China Admissions and you can download it there, or you can just send us an email as well and asking for it, and we can send you the link to download it. Okay, so what is exactly in this ebook? So this ebook goes over all the essentials of preparing to go to China, and then your arrival in China, and then how to adjust in China afterwards. So it's not necessarily a book that goes over your application process, because this is kind of after the application process. This is when you've been accepted into the university and what you can expect, because a lot of times people feel very confused. They don't exactly know, where do I go from here now? I would like to know exactly how the process is going to be from here. How do I adjust? Very basic questions. Some people might know these things and some people might not. I remember when I was going to China, I was very young. I just finished high school. And there were many very basic questions that I felt very embarrassed that I didn't have the answers to. So this book goes into all of these different questions. So let me just quickly read off what we do have here. We have a couple of different parts. Part one is called Departure. We go over immigration and getting your visa. We go over your travel essentials. We go over booking flights and hotels. We go over health insurance, and then also Chinese culture and etiquette. We have a bunch of videos that we've made on YouTube that are also linked here, and a bunch of blog posts as well. So it really is a very informative experience. And just keep in mind, this is from our personal experience. We have a couple of different people that have weighed in on this. We've checked this as well. But just keep in mind that this might be slightly different depending on your circumstances, the degree that you're going to study, the university you're going to go to, and which country you come from. Then part two, we have arrival. And we go over basic Chinese phrases to prepare yourself, how to register at the police, finding your long-term accommodation, setting up your essentials like getting your SIM card, getting a bank account, how to use Wechat and other important Chinese apps, and also our top tips, our personal tips, maybe some mistakes that we made, and we go over how to avoid these mistakes. Part three is called Settling In. And we go over how to manage your finances as a student in China. We go over the local cuisine. China's a very big country, so there are a lot of different types of cuisines and how you can get used to the different cuisines. Then we go over transportation, how to use the transportation. We have some very good guides on how to use transportation within the cities, like using the metro, using the buses, using bicycles, using taxis, getting Didi, which is like an Uber. We also go over how to use transportation in between cities, like taking a long haul bus, taking a plane, taking a high speed train. So we go over all of that. We go over safety in China and our safety tips. We go over our study tips as students. We were all students in China before, so we go over our tips there. And also job opportunities after you finish your degree. How can you look for jobs? Festivals and holidays, since China has very different festivals from especially Western countries. So you're not necessarily celebrating your traditional holidays like Christmas, and you'll have different days off depending on, you'll have different days off basically as Chinese holidays will be celebrated instead. And then health and well-being, how to stay healthy in China, and then Chinese language learning, because not everyone is going to be doing a Chinese language program. Some people might be studying a program in English and might need to put a bit of extra effort in to learn some Chinese. Then we have part four, which is our final part, and that is just a list of useful links that you'll need while you're in China. So this is free and it is really, really useful. It is completely free. So you can go to our blog and you can download this, or you can send us an email and we can send you the link. On our this live stream is also going to be posted on our YouTube channel, and the link will also be in the description of the YouTube channel as well. I'll also try to put the link here in the Instagram live stream so you can download it there. It's just going to be available after we finish the live stream. So also, if you have someone that is going to go to China or going to China in the future, you can also send them this so that they can download it as well. Okay, so I see we already have a couple of questions. So we're going to go into some of our questions that we have. Let me first check on YouTube. Okay, so hello, Tongji University's Chinese program, is it available in 2024 for September? Okay, so for 2024 in September, the deadlines are going to be around April or May. Usually for Tongji, they might have a slightly later deadline, maybe in June. So yes, they do have Chinese language programs, so you can definitely apply. You can start your process already. Just make sure that if it's not available on our website, just check on the Tongji University or the university website directly to see if they have it available, because some universities have taken down certain programs that are no longer available. So you can always, if you're uncertain, you can ask us and we can check for you as well. If it is available and it's not on a website, we'll just put it on our website, so it'll be published there in a couple of days. Okay. And also on our website, we have the deadlines for the different programs. So you can go onto our website and check the program and see what the deadline exactly is. Okay, then we have a couple questions here on Instagram. Okay, Imad asks, is there a fully funded scholarship to study Chinese for 1 year? No, there are no scholarships for non-degree programs. So if you're studying a non-degree program, which is a Chinese language program, if it's not a bachelor's, if it's not a master's, if it's not a PhD, there are no scholarships available. Also, right now, I see there is an influx of people asking questions they want to study right now, like in September, which is a week from now. Unfortunately, the deadlines have passed for those programs. So there are a couple of programs that have much later deadlines, but they also start later. So they'll be starting maybe in October, November, and I think there's only one program left. So if you do want to study this year, it is already quite late. I would recommend to maybe look to study in the beginning of March of 2024. And that means your deadline will be in around December, end of November. So you can start your application now for March of 2024, and you have a lot more variety. But also keep in mind that not all programs are available in March. So there are definitely more programs available for September 2024. So you might necessarily, if it's just a Chinese language program, you can kind of go and study that at any university. So that's fine. But if you're looking at degree programs, there's really not a lot of availability for March. There is more so in September. Just keep in mind that for people that are applying for September programs, the deadlines are usually around May. We have a couple more questions. Is the ebook free? Yes, it's free. So you can download it for free. Asma Das, which is one of the students that has already been accepted at a university, congratulations. Can you talk about baggage in domestic flights? I have the right for more in my international flight? Do they allow payment for more? If so, how much? I also saw dimensions of bags. Are they strict about it? So this is something that you're going to have to check with the airline. We don't exactly know. There are some airlines that are full service carriers. So, like in any other country, their prices are a little bit higher, but they include a lot more baggage, checked baggage. There are some that are cheaper, but those are usually low cost airlines. So that usually means that you can't have checked in baggage. So when you're booking your flights, try to make sure that you book directly with the airline and check just what their baggage allowance is. So we can't obviously tell you exactly what the baggage allowance is because it depends on the airline. It's a company. So you have to check on the company website. Okay, the university notified us that accommodation is limited. Should I start looking for rent now or wait until I get there and find out that I didn't get one? So, when it comes to the university, accommodation for new students is often limited. That is why you need to book as soon as it is possible. With some universities, they only allow you to book once you've arrived at the university. So, for rent, there's always a lot of availability for renting. Apartments. So, what I do recommend is to book a hotel for a couple of days. While you're registering at the university. The university can then show you to show you what availability they have, and you can see if you have rooms available. If you are able to book a room in advance at the university, that is always recommended, but not all universities have that option. So I would recommend to wait and see if you can get a room. If not, then you can start looking on WellSee, which we've done a video about before. We've also put into our ebook a bunch of different options as well for booking accommodation, and you can move in within a couple of days. But we don't recommend booking an apartment before you arrive in China because you also need to go and check and see if it actually matches the pictures, and that you're not getting ripped off. So that is something that I do recommend. I did that was my mistake when I was a student and I couldn't get an apartment. I couldn't get accommodation on campus. I booked a room, an apartment in advance, and it didn't look anything like the pictures, and it was definitely quite a ripoff, and it was quite expensive as well. So I would go there in person. Okay, we have some more. Start my university in China. What can I do to get a scholarship for the Chinese language program? There are no scholarships available for the Chinese language program. I'm very sorry to tell you all this. It's something we do get asked a lot for Chinese language programs. Unfortunately, there are no scholarships available. So, what I do recommend is to just make sure you can budget for the Chinese language programs that are much cheaper than the degree programs, and to look at the universities that have cheaper Chinese language programs than others and to apply to those instead. Um, just also keep in mind, I see here that you want to have a part-time job. You cannot work while you are a student in China. That is very, very illegal. So do not do that. You will have to budget. If you're doing a degree program, you can apply for scholarships. So there are different types of scholarships. We don't help students apply for scholarships, but you can apply for the CSC scholarship yourself. Just keep in mind that for English taught bachelor's programs, those are not covered by the CSC scholarship. But there are different scholarships, like entry scholarships that universities have. So you can check on the university website directly to see what other scholarships they have. If you're going to be studying a degree program in Chinese, then you can apply for the CSC scholarship. Okay. Okay, so there are some things about working in China. Again, as far as I've known, and for the last couple of years, I know there's been a couple of small changes, that it is quite difficult to be able to try and get permission to work. You need to work only a certain amount of hours when it comes to like internships and stuff like that. They have made some changes that you can do that. Internships are often unpaid. If you can work, you have to get permission from the university, and it has to be put into your visa, and it can still get rejected. So just know that we are not experts when it comes to visas, we only help students to apply to programs, to apply to the universities. Applying for visas, specific type of visas, violating your visa, and those things you really need to be very, very careful about, because that's something that also is very new. So when it comes to working in China, doing like the 8 hours a week that they allow for some people, it's also, you need to be very careful about that. So just keep that in mind. We have a question about, is Hangzhou Normal University a good university to study computer science? Yes, it is. It is a very good university to study computer science. In Hangzhou, there are a lot of actually really good universities for computer science. Another really good one is Zhejiang University of Science and Technology. They have great computer science and engineering programs, but Hangzhou Normal University also has really good ones. So you have quite a lot of options in Hangzhou. Jenny Unscripted says, what is the best way to practice Mandarin? I believe that as far as being proficient in a new language is concerned, practicing it is very important. Yes, it is. It is very important. So for me, one thing that helped me quite a lot was to try to immerse myself. Even in China, sometimes it can be a bit difficult. If you're a foreign student, you might be in class with other international students who might not necessarily want to speak Chinese in their free time. So you can watch movies, you can listen to music. I would also recommend trying to write, if you as much as you can. So if you've got a textbook and you've got like Chinese text in there, rewrite the text. That always helps to like also remember. Try to practice reading it. Put the tones above the different characters so you can practice your tones as well. Those are all very important. So that is one of the biggest things. And then also try to make friends with Chinese people. So Chinese people that don't necessarily speak English, so that you have to speak Chinese. Okay. So please leave any questions you guys have. I have a question here. Ivali sent said, can we please explain like the BLCU online business Chinese course and what they cover? So I can't give you a rundown right now. I don't know exactly what's in it from the top of my head, but we have had several online open days with BLCU where the teachers go over exactly what is taught in the course. So what I would recommend is just to check on this on our YouTube channel, to check our live streams that we've done, to check um, uh, our online open days that include BLCU, and they always go over their business Chinese course, and you can get all the information there. Okay, we do have a lot of questions about scholarships. So again, we don't help students apply to scholarships. However, we can give out information about scholarships. We don't have the most up-to-date information because again, we don't help students apply to them. We have several videos on our YouTube channel that go over the scholarships and how to apply to them. So I would recommend to go over those because those are more specialized, and you can go and you can check them out and get the information there. It also goes over if you're qualified or not qualified to apply for a scholarship. Okay, so I have a question. Can you please tell us any possibility of having a semester break for the MBBS degree there? You can take a break for a semester or for a year, but just keep in mind that you only have a certain number of years that you are allowed to study at the university. And the let me just think. Yeah, so we have issues with like when MBBS students, they have to complete their degree in a certain number of years. And if you go over those number, numbers, you'll be forced to try and complete your studies in a shorter amount of time. So I think like a semester is fine. You can take a semester off, you can take a year off, but you have to check with the university and you have to ask for permission from the university to do so. So it's not just something that you can just quickly decide to do. It's a very serious thing. Just check with the university, check if it's fine, and that it won't impact your studies later on, because that is a big issue with some students. Chris asks, is a Chinese language program seen as an academic year, just like a degree year? Generally, it's not seen as that. It is an extracurricular thing that you are doing. It's not seen as an academic year. An academic year would be part of a degree, like a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD. That would be a degree or an academic year. We have some people posting spam. Should we send supervisor requests and research plans to professors in English or Chinese? Depends on what your program will be taught in. If your program will be taught in English, then you should send them in English to your teachers. And if it's taught in Chinese, you should send them in Chinese. That's generally the rule of thumb for things. If you're applying for something, your documents have to be in the language of what you are going to study in. Imad asks, is there any advice to help me get a CSC scholarship? There's not specifically any advice that we can give you. We have a lot of videos, Imad, on our YouTube channel that go over how to apply for the CSC scholarship. Just keep in mind that the deadlines for the CSC scholarship are much earlier than usual. So they're usually in like March. So you need to apply for programs and apply for the CSC scholarship like much in advance if you want to study for September 2024. Just keep that in mind, because we have people asking if they can apply for like the CSC scholarship in June or July, which is way too late. And unfortunately, everything is closed then. Chris, the questions about like if I study at this university, can I do this? If I study at that university, can I do this? Are very specialized questions and kind of depends on the university that you're going to go to and your specific situation. What I do recommend is getting in touch with the university directly that you want to study at and asking them questions regarding their scholarship opportunities and what your options are over there. You'll get a much more specialized answer rather than a generic answer. Okay, well, that seems to be it for today. Thank you guys for joining, and be sure to download the uh, ebook that we have. I will also put it in the description of our Instagram post, a live stream as well, and then it is here on our YouTube one, and you can also go to our website and download it there. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream.